Welcome to the Cup of Joe Show, where we explore the journey of recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. One story, one conversation, and one step at a time. I'm your host, Joe, creating a safe space for honest discussions about the challenges and triumphs of addiction and alcoholism. In each episode, we'll hear inspiring stories and uncover tools that make healing possible. Sobriety is not a one-size-fits-all journey, and you don't have to face it alone. Recovery is possible, and it's worth it. Thank you for joining the Cup of Joe Show. Now let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Cup of Joe Show. I'm your host, of course, Joe. And today I'm really excited to welcome my friend Scott S. Scott's been sober since April 16th, 2012. He's the proud dad of 3 kids, Skylar, 21, Tia, 19, and Holly, 11. And he recently married Rachel, who he affectionately describes as a normie. Scott is a natural builder, inventor, and problem solver. Whether he's designing, fabricating, or fixing things for himself or others, creating is simply how he's wired. Professionally, he spent his career in neuroscience and is currently leading innovative engineering and fabrication work. He is always finding better ways to build and improve what's in front of him. Scott's story is one of steady recovery, creativity, and showing up for the life he's built. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get into it. How you doing today, Scott?
Doing good, Joe.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your willingness to share your story.
Sure.
I didn't mention in your intro, but it made me think. You and I came into recovery around the same time. And got sober in the same year, just a couple months apart from each other. So you've been, you've been in my recovery story for a long time.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool, and I'm grateful that you're here. So what was it like growing up, Scott?
Well, I felt like I was pretty normal, or not normal, but I liked the things that I liked, and pretty much the same. I mean, I would go out, explore in the woods and find things, get into trouble, or not into trouble, but I just reminded, because my daughter was talking about going and looking for abandoned houses and stuff recently, or just anything, and going and exploring. And I was like, yes, I love it, because that's what I used to do. Exploring was so much fun. But that was just kind of my thing. Like, I've always built, fixed, been intrigued with anything and everything, living, not living, mechanical. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is myself, but that's why we're here. So
that is true. It is kind of, it is what we're working towards, I guess. And so kind of just to talk a little bit about drinking and what were like your earliest kind of attitudes towards like alcohol and drugs and that kind of thing? I mean, was it normalized in your environment, or?
Yeah, so it was very normal in my house growing up. Both my parents drank, and I didn't think heavily, but it was. But they weren't out of control or anything like that. But I thought it was normal for your parents to slur every night after dinner. So grew up with that, and then I think the first time that I tried it really, other than sips of my parents, drink sitting there on the couch, hey, could I try your beer? And they'd let me try something, and I'd be like, oh, that's gross, or whatever. But then the first time that I got into my dad's liquor cabinet and mixed a bunch of stuff, put it all in one bottle, worst idea ever. And me and my friends snuck out of the house and went down to this graveyard. And we sat down there and got drunk for the first time. It was probably like 13 or so. And that would just tasted awful. It was absolutely horrible. It was lots of just bourbons and stuff. To this day, well, of course not now, but I don't like the smell of whiskey or bourbon. Never been able to drink anything like that. Now, had I put vodka in that, it'd probably be a different story today. I'd be a different person because that was definitely my choice. But yeah. So from there, it was, I guess it was like a year later, my dad had brought home some, um, they called it Labo. He's the neuroscientist. And so this was actual 200 proof laboratory grade alcohol. Yeah. 100% alcohol. And so they just put fruit and stuff in it. Well, it's so ridiculously strong that a sip is like a big gulp. I mean, so me and my friends were like, "Ooh, let's see what this is." And so I got this big tumbler glass, and I dipped it down this thing, and I just drank it, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't feel anything." And so I had another one, and we went downstairs, and last thing I remember is that second drink. Um, what my friends told me the next day was, you know, I threw my shirt in the fire. We had a fire downstairs in the basement, and I was under the pool table and all these things, these funny things that I did. And I didn't remember that. I didn't like the fact that I didn't remember it, but I did like how I felt, and that was pretty fun. Um, so things things really didn't go anywhere from there till like on a regular basis. I was kind of a normal college drinker, through college. Because of the normalcy with my parents, there wasn't the I can't wait to get out of the house and drink because I was allowed to drink. They bought my friend and I's liquor, beer, everything that we wanted for our senior prom, as long as we were going to this house that we were going to and staying there. That was the agreement. Well, sure. So, and that's exactly what we did. We didn't have any reason to leave. I mean, we were all going to this house and we had a shitload of liquor and everything is great. So, did that. I got horribly sick. Alcohol poisoning was not good. This was starting to change my mind about drinking because when I did, it was really overboard. Um, so, fast forward to college and everybody's getting their freshman dorm and there's like, come on, Switzer, come on, drink with us and all this stuff. I was like, man, I'm good. Oh, your parents don't even know, you can do it. I was like, actually they do. And I had a lot and I'm good. I'm going to really actually concentrate on school for the first time in my life. And I did, and I did pretty good. Of course, I couldn't afford beer, so can't drink beer. I can't go get free drinks from the bar because I'm not cute, you know. So nothing really, freshman, sophomore year, college really, and things were kind of just normal, drink beer with your friends and all that stuff. I think when my relationships and things started to affect me. Is when so I got married young and younger, early 20s. And towards the end of that, I had discovered pills and other dry goods. And that really ramped up my ability to drink. And it was like, I can drink all night now. And that's when I started drinking more vodka. And that was the wheels were. I mean, that was the beginning of a downward spiral. That marriage fell apart. Left West Tennessee, came back to Knoxville. Continued on my great ways. Met my new wife, uh, Skylar's mom. She's a dance instructor, ballroom dance instructor. And I was going there because I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. Didn't necessarily want to drink to have fun, but wanted to be able to dance and be okay. So that worked pretty good, except for the fact that I got her pregnant, my teacher, and now I had a kid. So I never got to use my dancing, skills and stuff. And anyway, um, with that relationship or during that time, I'm drinking, vodka. Things have slowed down. I was happy. But she had commented, "You drink more orange juice than anybody I know," and it wasn't the orange juice that was what was going in there. That was a lot. Um, so things just kind of steadily. I don't. It's the same pattern when I did my steps. Looking at it and now thinking back again. I started to catch myself and say, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I do. Same thing that always happened. I would get bored. I would get unhappy. I would get uncontent, even though I'm drinking and stuff. And I would want to go burn the house down because things are going pretty good in my life. Um, and that's kind of the same thing that repeated that marriage. And then finally, things really went bad. Went bad. Work asked me to go get help. Um, they said, "We think you have a problem." I said, "I think you're right." Like, about time, finally. Somebody saw it. I wasn't trying, but I wasn't not trying. Um, so that was in 2012. Leading up to that was just after the divorce of Skylar's, my kid's mom. That was just a lot of partying, a whole lot of trying to figure out myself. I just remember, I don't know, lots of lonely nights with a bottle. Leave work, go to the bar, get done at the bar, go home, continue drinking whether I was alone or not, every single night for years. That was it. So,
Was um like, was there a time when you realized, like, during that period where, like, I might have a problem, or
oh,
were you just
yeah. So, I mean, you always have those thoughts. Can I stop? Or, is this, you know, do I have a problem? And a lot of times of course it's easy to say, you know, well, I only drink on, or the yets come in. I didn't know about all this, but I mean, back then it's easy to just brush it off or say it's because of something else, other than myself. And I really thought that alcohol was helping me. And I mean, boy, would I be lost without it, because I mean, it's the only thing that helps me cope with all of these people, and all of my problems, which were these people, and the things they were doing to me. Oh man, you bring me back, Joe. It's been a while since I've talked about all this stuff. Um, I forgot where I was going with that.
well, I think I mean, what we have in common, I always say this, guys, like, alcohol really wasn't my problem. It was my
No,
solution,
that was it. Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. And so when I got to AA, and I learned, I always tell people the biggest relief for me was that I wasn't in charge. Somebody told me that I wasn't in charge anymore. I never was, but told me that I wasn't. God had this, or whoever, and that all I had to do is worry about me, my actions, what I do, and everything else will just kind of do as it will. And it just seems so simple, and then it seems silly. But I grabbed it, Joe, and I was like, this is it. My whole life is this simple. It's because I'm very complex. I think of millions of scenarios just for work. I mean, like, I can take things apart in my head and put it back together. I mean, it's just very something so simple as that, and it still blows me away, that letting go, or realizing that I don't have any power over you, or anything else, is it's just magic. It was the biggest relief. I've never felt like I belonged anywhere or anybody ever got me, till I got to AA and kind of said that kind of thing. It just, I don't know. It's good stuff.
I love that you called it the magic. There's I one of the daily reads I have. It's called "Stumbling in the Right Direction," and
Mm,
that's kind of how he always in the readings describes, that he said, the higher power, God, whatever it is to each individual, but he describes it as the magic,
yeah.
and it
Nice.
is. It's I like looking at it that way. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. 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 I don't have to understand how it works, and, would it ruin it if I knew? I don't know, probably, but,
Yeah, we don't have to know, but so what was some of the biggest challenges you had early on?
early on sobriety
Yeah,
or,
well, either.
uh, yeah. Well, yeah, and just general life. I mean, low self-esteem, not fitting in, just never really felt like anybody truly got me, or people were always out to get me. I did not do well in school. Um, Not a good test taker at all. I have ADHD, diagnosed when I was a kid, but my parents were like, we're not giving him medication. So instead, they did nothing. So that helped. Um, there wasn't much to do then. There wasn't anything but medication. It wasn't like people didn't understand it. Um, so when I started diagnosing my own kids with it, hey, but then I find out that a lot of people, it seems like, that are alcoholics also have, the other bugs. Um, so sorry, Joe. I keep getting not distracted. I'm just tired and it's late. I forgot the question.
No, I was just, early on in your
Oh yeah.
in your recovery, what
Mhm.
was those early days like, or what were some of the challenges you had?
Yeah. So for recovery was work. I was just so fearful that, well, number one, I was going to lose my job. But they're the ones that sent me there, all this good stuff. Um, Trying to fit in outside of work. I mean, work was okay because people knew, you know, most people knew where I went for those, a little bit of time while I was away, and very supportive. Um, Outside of there, I was at Park 40. I lived there. Um, that was, yeah, I remember going to the 10 o'clock, the noon, the 5, the 8. The hardest thing for me though was just the habit of places and everything that people do and they have a drink. And still it's just weird. I gave a great analogy to I got married a while ago, and my best man had also just stopped drinking. He's not one of us, but he just decided he drank too much. He's getting older. It just doesn't feel good anymore. I was like, yeah, I got you. So we actually had a alcohol-free bachelor party. I didn't care if anybody drank, but what I wanted to camp and I wanted to go whitewater rafting. So that's exactly what we did. We camped, sat out by the campfire, and didn't drink alcohol. And he's this other guy that was with him. He's newly sober. Now he did have a problem. I don't know if he made it into the rooms or not, but he's he needs to anyway. Long story short, he's doing good. Um, so we're all sitting around, and we start talking about how odd it is that people um, who don't or who do drink, give people a hard time about it that don't drink. And I said, well, the best analogy I can give you to is like, say you go over to somebody's barbecue and they say, well, we're having burgers and stuff. You want mayonnaise on your burger, right? Like, no, I don't want any mayonnaise. What? What do you mean you don't want mayonnaise on your burger? It's a barbecue. You gotta have mayonnaise on your burger. Guys, he's not having mayonnaise. Why don't you want mayonnaise? When did you stop eating mayonnaise? I just don't feel like having mayonnaise today. I mean, like, is it make your stomach upset? And my guys just start laughing, because of the just insanity of it and how ridiculous that is. If somebody would ask you, it's like, what do you mean you're not eating mayonnaise? And they're like, holy shit, people really do that, don't they? And you think about it, they're like, I've done that to somebody. What do you mean you're not? Well, it's a choice, and I don't want it. I don't like it today. But alcohol is so much different. So that at the beginning was hard because I'm fine with not drinking. Everybody else would just quit reminding me about it. Hey, you want to drink? Oh, you're not drinking. Oh, is it okay if I drink? And then everybody gets uncomfortable. And that's always the uncomfortableness is I'm fine. If you would just be yourself, it would be great. you know. So those were the struggles, I think, as far as beginning of sobriety, just trying to figure out how to fit in again or ever.
Because you're right, because especially alcohol, it's such a social thing,
Hmm.
for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
you they couldn't understand, why, at least people who you were right, people who were in my life kind of knew. They were like, no more, they didn't want to
Yeah.
see me drinking anymore. But the
Right.
people who, maybe didn't know me so well and were new,
Hmm.
I came up, mine was, whenever I'd be asked, I would tell them I was allergic.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
an arrow. I just said I was allergic, and then I would, if they kept pushing, I said, "Look, I break out an asshole in handcuffs, right?"
Yep. Exactly.
So you probably don't want me drinking.
Yep.
Um, what were some things that maybe you weren't prepared for? Getting sober. Was there anything that
Mm.
stands out?
uh, I talked about before, I went to the bar all the time. One bar or another, different years of my life, different bars, different people. Um, it was realizing that, I mean, I wasn't a fool thinking that these people were my friends, but we were just all sitting around, drinking ourselves to death. I mean, just watching each other kill each other, kill ourselves. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know, Joe.
It's kind of, that's the insanity of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it
That
is.
we do that, for sure. Here, so you're early on sobriety, and one of the things, I love what you talked about, basically surrender,
Hmm.
and so can you kind of talk about what does surrender mean to you?
Yeah. So we have a chaplain at our work. It's been really nice for me. Bounces around and comes in every Thursday and spends like 10 minutes or so talking. And he has, um, he's more about the other book. Um, and I'm teaching him about the big book, um, which he knows about. But we were talking about the surrender of it because he was talking about somebody who needs help, that he is trying to get to me or to somebody. And I agree. I was like, he said, I might call you. And I was like, look, I, anytime, if it has something to do with a whatever, anybody that knows me, whatever, I will drop what I'm doing. You just tell me. This is somebody's life, is what I was telling him. if he's willing to surrender the possibility that things might not be the same, for the rest of his life. And that was the biggest thing for me was, surrendering it to God was easy at that point because I kept trying to do it for myself. I kept trying to figure it all out. I kept trying to blame. I kept trying to do a lot of things. Like I talked about a while ago, just saying that, it's not up to me. Just that the power of powerlessness. Is I am so happy that I didn't have to try so hard anymore and I could just really focus on the rest of what's going on. When I first got sober, I have some of the best stories when I first got sober of things that happened. And then I realized that years have gone on, things don't happen much anymore. Yeah, they do. I don't look for them anymore. They're everywhere all the time, and I haven't been in the rooms as much, over the last few years. I've been sober a while. That doesn't mean, but where I'm at, I know I'm in an okay place. I want to go, haven't made time. But getting to talk to this pastor and having this chance that somebody needs my help is really nice. Is a great feeling again. Uh, but shit, I got sidetracked again, Joe.
You're doing great, Scott. It's okay to be sidetracked because and I think kind of where you were going, maybe. And it was actually a question I wanted to ask you is what has service played? What role has service played in your recovery?
It's everything, in my opinion. It's the only thing. That's how A started. His service. It's helping somebody else. I can't do anything to help myself. And every single time I start to get miserable now, upset, or anything, I was really getting in a slump. A few months ago, before I got married, things were really busy. I was getting stressed out, all these things, but I love chaos. And I know that. And so I stopped one day and I'm just like, my hair's on fire, just like, oh, well, it's this. Well, I've had too much coffee. All these outside things must be this, must be this. And I was like, hey, hang on a second. And I stopped and I was like, you remember when you used to do an inventory every night before you went to bed? And I just breathed. I just took a deep breath without even thinking about it when I just said it. I was like, God, what is going on? Oh, I tried to get control back. That's what happened. Jeez, it really doesn't work. I think my favorite thing somebody said in the room one time was, God did not wake up this morning and think he was you. I suggest that you don't do the same. And it was like, yeah, yeah, I guess he didn't go, "Well, I'm going to take it easy today. I'm going to be Scott. Let Scott take care of everything else." That's ridiculous in every shape, form, fashion. It just doesn't. It makes it so silly that it makes it not. That it makes it work.
What a great way to put it too, Scott. I I will quote you on it, but I will probably steal that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so I guess what are some of the best things that have happened to you in sobriety?
Man, I golly, I myself, I learned who I am. It's just the biggest thing. I'm still learning. I'm not real happy about a lot of it still, but it turns out I'm stuck with myself. So I'm just learning how to adjust and deal with that. But when I got sober, I went on a big fitness thing. We got to take our attention and go other places. But really, that was because um, I had my daughter Holly, and I was like, "Holy cow! I'm gonna be like 60 by the time she graduates high school. I would like to be able to run and play and all this stuff with her." And I was not in good shape. I wasn't in terrible shape, but for me, being a gymnast, as when I was a kid, just wasn't my thing. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to move, and so I started doing that. And boy, I mean, not just like alcohol, but let's just say it. It's just you do it, it changes the way you feel. So I latched onto that, and I mean, the benefits are great. It feels good. Feel good, look good, all this stuff. And there's a lot of disadvantages too that I found. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. There's things that I would rather be doing, and all these. So I mean, it's just a give and take. So that all became obvious when I injured. I broke my foot last year, and that stopped that daily exercise routine. And then a couple months following, I tore my right shoulder snow skiing in Utah this year in March. And so now I haven't been to the gym pretty much since. Um, so that's when I was talking about getting irritable again, was when I didn't have my outlet. And not that I ever think about drinking. I mean, I think about it like any old responsible alcoholic will, which is, man, I wish I could have one drink, but I know I can't. Oh well, and I go on. Um, but I definitely wasn't thinking about drinking. It was just I wanted the voices to stop, to calm. To I like chaos, but this isn't chaos. What's going on? Oh yeah, it's all that control I'm trying to gain back. So as soon as I admitted that and gave that back or made an effort, just the smallest of efforts, just realizing it usually makes all the difference in the world. And it's so silly. Like I was talking about, it's so simple, so small. It's just a thought, you know, and that's all it takes. And that's all the brain is. I mean, it's feelings, it's thoughts. Why not make up your own? You know, I can make myself happy. I'll pretend I'm rich.
Can I do that too? Is
Yes, sure,
that?
Joe. Try it out.
But you, I mean, and I kind of, talking about the exercise thing. I mean, you really, I mean, weren't you doing Ironmans and stuff
I
like that,
was
Scott?
I
You
was
were
doing
like,
crazy Spartan races constantly. Yeah, I went all over the U.S. in 2018. I did three trifectas, it's three of each type of race. Um, yeah, it was fun. It was exhausting, but it was those times out there doing like 14 miles on Mount Killington in Vermont, and I'm by myself. Well, I'm not with people that I know. Um, you get to an exhausted state that you just can't compare to anything else. What you learn in training like that is that you can do things a whole lot more than when you think that's too much. And so I started following these guys, podcasts and everything else, talking about, the mind and how things work and physical and mind over body and all this, and a lot of the similarities of, AA principles and things like that. And so you train for this stuff, but then you go out and when you're done, you cross the finish line. I mean, you're getting up to that finish line. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And you think you're going to die. And then not really. And then you cross the finish line, and 5 minutes later, you're pretty sure you could not maybe do it again, but you feel great. Well, that means I had a whole lot more to give out there. But at the time, you think that's it. And so what it taught me is that, I can do more than I think, physically and mentally, because that's mental. Physically, they say when your mind tells you, I'm done, you're 40% there, not even halfway. You look at these people who pick up cars when their kids are stuck under it. You look at, these people who have run marathon, way back, the marathon. um, you can do things that you don't think are possible, that are just not human, right? Well, you can do that too mentally. I mean, if you can train physically to do that and you push yourself physically and your brain is the only thing holding you back, well, you know, use that. So I don't know. I got into the physical part, which helped me train my brain, and helped me get uncomfortable, but then know I was going to be okay. And it was so much like sobriety. Just like, all right, this is going to suck, or it's going to be great. I don't know, but we're doing it. And you just kind of show up. And I just went. I had such a strict schedule of Tuesday and Thursday. That was it for an hour. That's all I did. And everybody was asking me, how many days you work out? I worked out 2 days a week, Joe. 3 at max when I was doing Spartan racing. That was it. But it was hard workouts, but
Yeah.
it was, I don't know. I love the physicality of that. I don't hate that I'm older. I mean, I kind of here somehow, but injuries not catching up with me, but these were bad enough to really stop me in my tracks. And so I've been bummed about that, but I don't have my outlet. So I've been
Yeah. No,
building instead.
but that, and it's important, you said the outlet, and we can get into really positive outlets, you know, or like me, I got into a really negative outlet. I mean, I turned to food when I got sober, and I
Yep.
always, you know, I mean, I literally put on 100 pounds in sobriety. Now I'm trying to get that off, and at I just turned 56.
Yeah.
It is not easy anymore. It's not
No.
like, but it's like something. If I want to be around for my daughter, who's
Right.
17 at
Mm.
this point, and I want to be around for her and for my bonus kids as long as possible.
Yep.
I can't turn. I turned one addiction into another.
Yep.
And not a healthy one. So I'm trying to change that, but
Hmm.
that's there's a lot of recovery in it. A lot
There
of
is a
recovery
whole lot of
thoughts.
recovery.
It's because I think we before, just like before I got sober, I knew I needed to do something, but it took me time. I needed to get beat into, oh, my friend Johnny always calls it a state of reasonableness before I was
Yeah.
willing to do something different, you know?
Yeah.
And and I've reached that point, you know, physically, but and
Yeah.
you know, maybe in a different way, you've reached that point this year due to injuries that,
Hmm.
and you're turning it into something different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, not better or worse, just different, you know?
Exactly. Well,
Um,
and that's what life is. I mean, it changes. I mean, we can't do the same thing forever. Um, it's going to have to change or modify somewhat. Relationships are that way. For me, beliefs and faith and everything else are that way. I mean, you have to shift and go, okay, well, what did that mean? What did this mean? To me, I don't believe in doing the same thing over and over again at all. It's just even, no routine can last forever. All right, I'm going to brush my teeth every. Okay, you say that till you lose your teeth. And you're not going to brush your teeth every night before you go to bed. You're going to put them in a jar. So, yeah, all routines are not sustainable. You have to adapt. So, how you brush your teeth is going to change. But I,
that's what I was. When you said that, like you doing the same thing over, and I'm like, yes, that is insanity. That is,
It
I think
is.
that is truly, and it's what we call the expecting different results, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So
It is.
how how do you stay spiritually and emotionally well today?
To be honest, I'm just getting back there. Like I had said earlier, I'm talking to the chaplain. I've talked to my wife, Rachel. Like I said, she is a normie, so um, not that she doesn't get it, but she doesn't get it. Um, I keep having to have these moments with myself, like I said earlier, just really doing inventory. And oh my God, oh, this one, gratitude list. All right. I don't ever like to physically write anything down. Um, I just don't like to write. I like to draw. I write numbers and lines, for building things, but that's it. Um, but man, just thinking about a few things that I'm grateful for so quickly, it just shuts so many little voices off for me. It's just dumb. Everything is just, I've been through so much for little things like that. Um, God, what was it? Tom, what was it he used to say? There are no big there or something. He had, you know who I'm talking about. Tom, Brushy Mountain Tom.
Was it Tom Wells that you were? Is it Tom Wells, or am I thinking of a different
Yeah,
Tom?
I think. Yeah,
Uh,
well, he would always say, something about that. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Anyway, lost it again, Joe.
okay, listen, it's I'm pulling. I'm pulling that out of you, Scott,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. Keep rolling.
and it's uh. So, what does a typical day in your life look like today? Like in
Yeah. So for me, I get up way before anybody should, um, and it's gotten worse and worse. I think as hopefully not too much worse as the older I get, but I get up around 3:30 every morning, um, whether I want to or not. This morning I woke up at 3. I heard the wind blowing and decided it was just time to get up. So woke up before my alarm went off. I guess that's why I keep wandering off too, Joe. I mean, I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. That's a long time. But, so get up in the morning. We would normally go to the gym, and then I would get ready to go to work. Um, I work at the business shop, fixing things constantly all day. Um, a lot of fun there. Afternoons, I mean, I honestly, I work a lot now, and that's what I realized was that I'm maybe not dealing with things as much with that, but I am definitely doing it. Whatever, but spiritually, that goes back to what you were asking before. Um, I'm not, I don't go to meetings, but I really try and do, like I was saying, just an inventory of my day more now. Um, but yeah, life's crazy schedule of kids and dogs and remodeling the house right now. We just started right after we got married, October 25th. We decided we're not going on a honeymoon yet. We'll go to Italy next year. But we've really been wanting to remodel the kitchen, and she wouldn't let me do it because the wedding was too much planning. And so, bam, I pulled the trigger. So the cabinets are back in. all the walls are gone in the whole downstairs except for the stairwell. So yeah, that's kind of my day. Long days of building, creating, and making cool stuff. That's what I like.
I wish you could see your face when you say building and creating and like the
Mm,
smile on you. It's just, you could see that just the joy that it brings you, which is cool.
it's my happy place. Yep.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing. Um,
No.
so what would you say, to somebody maybe out there listening who feels like they don't have any hope?
Mm. Man, you see so many. I thought I was at the bottom, and I was. Interesting thing that you learn. I thought I was at my bottom, and I was. I met lots of other people in the rooms, and their story was either way worse or really not as bad at all, or, pretty much the same. And what I realized is that's everybody's worse at that time for you. It doesn't matter what somebody else did. The elevator, you can choose where you get off type kind of thing. It really is so important to realize that you don't have to lose everything to start getting some things back. I was very fortunate, and I am a one chip wonder, as we call it. I don't want to say what that means, 'cause I'm looking for wood and I don't have any handy. Let's just say I've really enjoyed my AA time, and I don't want to go back out there. But it's golly, it's a ride. It is the beginning hope. I think it's just not knowing what's going to happen next when you first get sober. What are you going to do at my nephew's birthday party that we always do this, we always do that? And I tell you, it was like, I don't have an answer for what you're going to do, but I can tell you what you don't have to do. You don't have to eat mayonnaise. It's what you don't have to do. you know, don't eat the mayonnaise. Just tell people you don't want mayonnaise today. Um, but for me, it's the way I've dealt with it more than anything else, and the hope and all is just I like to make fun of situations like that. The mayonnaise. I mean, you might as well laugh about it. I mean, I would rather laugh than get angry or cry or something else. And there's plenty to laugh at. Think of the ridiculous things that we tell ourselves to have a drink to make things worse. That's laughable. Go into a meeting and listen to people. That was horrible when I first got sober, and you go in and you hear people laughing at each other for doing this insane stuff and this hurtful, awful things, and these people are laughing. You're like, oh my God, what's wrong with them? And I don't know what happens, but next thing you know, you're laughing at these other people telling their stories, and you're just like, oh, because it's funny because we're here. It's not funny because you did it. We actually made it. We can laugh at it. That's what I get to do. We get to laugh at it because I made it this far, Joe.
That's a big deal.
It is.
You reminded me, uh, if you remember old Rick, he used to say, a
Yes.
bottom isn't a place,
Oof.
it's a feeling. He said,
Yep.
for some of us, it takes living under a bridge. And for others, it's a dent in a Mercedes. He said,
Yeah.
most of us are somewhere in between, you
Yep.
know?
Exactly. Very
So,
true.
so is there anything you wanted to talk about that we haven't?
I just need to. I need to get back to the rooms. I enough. We all know why we go, not for somebody else. I know I'm going to help somebody if I go, but I need to go to help somebody so I can feel better. It's so stupid. Why does it have to be so easy and complicated? I used to tell my sponsees, I said, here, this is a perfect way to understand what it feels like to help somebody else, to make yourself feel better. Any day of the week, go to the grocery store and get out slow of your car, look around. You'll see somebody with a cart. They're almost done with their cart. Don't be creepy, but make your way over and ask if you can take their cart. The look on this person's face will be a shock, and they will be delighted or pissed. Those people are weird, but most of the time they're absolutely delighted and can't believe that somebody would do something, a stranger would do something for them. I say, just go up and say, take your cart back. Oh my God, thank you so much. No problem. Well, that was so nice. And you just take that cart and you walk in that store, and I guarantee you'll be smiling. And if you're not, I don't know what's wrong with you, you know. But you just made two people smile. Those people smiled. You get to smile. Didn't cost you anything. You're walking in there anyway. You're going to get a cart. And now you've just made somebody else's day. They're still talking. They're thinking about you and what a wonderful person you are for the rest of the day. So the hope is, man, you can take something as small as that and you can get through sobriety. I did. These little things I was talking about that you don't see anymore, because I don't look for them. It's helping somebody, with their cart at the grocery store. It's holding a door. I mean, that little, if you can't do anything else, do these little things. And they add up and they turn into a day. Days turn into weeks and so on and so forth, Next thing you know, some punk ass kid is coming up and asking you if he could bring the card in for you at the store, Now you come full circle. So
Keep it simple,
yeah, it is.
Keep it simple. It's a great idea, a great way to be of service. Very simple things that we can do to help people every day.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got a grocery store or just something like that, because I would get caught up. I'm such a perfectionist. They'd say, okay, here's your service work. You need to go do the be of service. I was like, I have to sign up for something. I have to do this. And no, it's my ADHD sporadic mind. I'm just going to help him over there. I'm going to go help him. I'm going to go help her over there. I'm going to go over here. I like helping people. It makes me feel good. Who the hell doesn't want to feel better? And turns out it feels like that great feeling of connection that I always wanted from drinking. I don't have to drink. Yay. There's no hangovers. Joe, don't you miss hangovers? Oh, God.
Not even a little bit, Scott. Not even a little bit. Thank goodness.
Like COVID and everything else, all these sicknesses and stuff. And still, I'm just like, this is bad, but it's not daily and it's not, why would anybody want to feel this way?
It's hard to imagine today, but I don't want to forget about it either.
No, and that's what I'm truly grateful for today is I have not forgotten what all that feels like. It's been a long time, but it is not hard. Like just I don't know, different things like feelings, whiffs, smells of something, and it makes me nauseous. I'm like, God, I'm so glad it makes me physically sick to think about being drunk or, having that much or so. It's just nothing about it sounds appealing to me. Ugh, yay.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Oh, it is.
Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your experience, Scott. Really. But I can't let you go without our rapid fire questions.
Oh, man. All right.
This this may keep you up, or you may wake up at 3 a.m. thinking you should have answered differently. So I need some focus. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready, sir?
Sure.
All right. What is your favorite recovery slogan?
What is it? Let go, let God, or oh, I see them all on the wall. However that one is, it's basically let God, let go, let God, something. It's a switches back and forth. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your least favorite recovery slogan?
Meeting makers make it. That's not. It's just how it's said.
I get it.
Yeah.
What do you think is your sobriety superpower?
That's. I guess that I'm a one chip wonder.
If you could say one thing to your former self, what would it be?
Just one. It's gonna be okay.
What song do you play to lift your spirits when you need a boost?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not much of a pick a song, just a feeling. Uh, Probably some Black Keys of some kind.
If you could grant yourself one wish to help with your recovery, what would it be?
Hmm. The the will or the whatever the word is to get my ass down to a meeting and go be present.
My old sponsor used to tell me, pray for willingness.
Yeah, that's
Pray
it.
for
Yeah,
willingness.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
What step do you love the most?
Oh gosh. I have honestly one. It's so core. I mean, you can't go anywhere if you blah 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 blah. All right, just admit it. And with anything, admit you have a problem. Admit that you have. I mean, it's just start with the fact. Okay, I'm here now. Now I'm ready. I admit it. Let's go.
What step do you love the least?
Ugh. Golly. I don't know. Hmm, I don't know that I have at least. They all
Yeah,
have, yeah, they all have their meaning, whether I like them or not. It's kind of like spinach. Got to eat that too. It does something for you.
that's
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
So what is one of your favorite movies?
Uh, John Wick. Any of them. Any of the John Wick.
Nice, Scott.
Yeah.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I have a lot of questions. I don't know. That's him. Me, not. Um, I don't know. Yeah, you just said that, and I saw my dad. I lost my dad 5 years ago. Now, lost him through sobriety. I'm glad I didn't even talk about that. Golly, yeah. But yeah, I just see a smile and a welcome feeling. That's yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm sorry about your dad, Scott.
Yeah,
Hmm.
me too. But I mean, through that, and he was, my guy. And after that, my mom, she went off wherever. She's still alive, but I don't know her. She's not my mom anymore, as far as I'm concerned. So I've lost both my parents, and I've been divorced, and I've been remarried, and had a kid, and done lots of things in sobriety. But yeah, life is still pretty great.
And you've done it all sober,
Yeah,
regardless. Just cool.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Every time that any of these things have happened, I mean, my jeopardy of my job and my dad dying, and just, I really would have thought, because that's what you hear. It's like, I did through this, but I made it. I didn't, I knew it wouldn't help. I mean, of course, I wanted the pain, I wanted the thoughts, I wanted the feeling to go away, but it never did that. And the trick for me, I think, the biggest part of my sobriety is my rigorous honesty with myself. I am such a bullshitter, but man, when I went to AA and I learned how to call myself out because other people were calling each other out, like blatantly, I was like, dang, you say that about somebody. It's so true, but gosh, I can't believe you'd say that out loud. And that's just been kind of my thing. I was like, okay, well, that's how I talk to myself in my head. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna go do that, dumbass, or whatever it is in physical. We all have that head. Oh, you're gonna jump over that. You're not as young as you think you are, and then you do it and you get hurt. And the one that goes, dumbass, that one. That one is really loud and obnoxious. I think he's from New York. I'm not sure. In my head, that reminds me of playing the tape all the way through and remembering. I have no problem remembering. It's so easy it would be too easy to go back into. And I know where I would end up. That's the rigorous honesty part. If I never had a drink before, why in the hell would I think I'm going to have one today? No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the committee in our head really pays off.
Yes. Sometimes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man, for taking the time
Yeah,
and for
yeah,
sharing
Thanks
your
for having me.
story.
Yeah.
You're welcome, brother. And
Yep.
for the rest of you out there, please subscribe to our friends at thedailyponderables.com, your recovery source for inspiration and encouragement every day. A new episode of The Cup of Joe Show is released every Thursday at noon. Visit thecupofjoeshow.net, or you can listen to the show in your favorite podcast apps, Podbean, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and others. Just search for The Cup of Joe Show. Don't forget the. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share, because someone out there needs to hear this today. Have a good day, everybody.
It's just a laid-back vibe, baby.
We hope you enjoyed today's Experience, Strength, and Hope. We are so grateful you decided to join us. Please share this episode with someone who might need it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, no matter where you are in your recovery journey, you are not alone. Reach up and reach out to someone. Please do not suffer in silence. Until next time, let's take it 1 minute, 1 hour, and 1 day at a time. Thanks for listening to The Cup of Joe Show.